poor income house, so forth, different things. Dad wasn't around. My uncle, like I said before, was a pimp. He had prostitutes, and most of the men were helping that out. They was either drivers, doing their own stuff. And so I grew up, there was only a few males, cousins and so forth, but we grew up seeing all the crime in South Central LA. And so anyway, mom had was working through Section 8, got Section 8, got a house, first house we ever had. Just before then, we were living in I wasn't even living in a house, I was living in a room in a house. And I mean, and so we had a community bathroom and everything. But I remember getting this, if I cry, just don't go by it. But I remember getting this house, how excited I was, you know, about having a house for the first time. We rich now, you know, and all the above. And so we lived inside, and this was in South Central, not knowing anything, too young to really know about crime and all that other stuff. And so that was in the summer. I had just there. Junior high school starts in the 7th grade. It's 7 through 9. And so anyway, I just finished 6th grade, about to go to junior high in the new area that we lived in, new house. So things was looking good. And so I remember getting excited about the house. And so anyway, make a long story short, it was getting close to me going back to school, to this new school and everything. So I was excited about that. I remember after we had a little Labor Day picnic, I was in the bed, thinking about how tomorrow was going to be, how excited I was, all the Fell asleep, woke up, someone was in our house stabbing my mom. And speeded up, I watched this man take my mom's life away. And he thought he did the same to me. And I was literally stabbed about 39 times. In the face, back, so forth, different things. And so, moving on, God gave me strength to go get help. Amen. So you hear that, I was stabbed 39 times, but still had strength to get up. And there's more to it, but I'm just trying to speed it up. God helped, went to the hospital. I wake up after surgery, the doctor, policeman's right there, and the first thing I hear them say, he's not going to make it. He's going to die in a couple hours. And they don't notice me, and I'm like, I'm here, right here, and I couldn't talk. And so anyway, they couldn't believe it. A miracle was happening in the midst, and they couldn't understand it. They called me the miracle child. They didn't understand, and they said I wasn't going to talk. They said I wasn't going to walk. They said all these negative things, but I continued to believe that I was going to live. And so, fast forward, I lived, and I'm back home. Well, living with my aunt now because my mom's deceased. She lived about 2 blocks away from where the incident happened. So a lot of fears, still crime, everything else, and had a lot of insecurities. I hated my life, hated other people. I was mad, hated God, mad at everything. And here I had to go back to an environment to where I wasn't treated. I felt like I felt like I should have got some type of handicap. I should have got some type of, but no, I was treated like everybody else. So I was talked about and all this other stuff. So I had all these hurts, plus kids talking about my face, talking about mama jokes, all this other stuff, growing up. And so I went through that, speeded up. I overcame that. I had this real bitter heart, spirit, so forth about life in general. I was just mad. I wasn't the type to mess with somebody, but if you mess with me, you know, I would just whatever. And I started having this chip on my shoulders about just me, people, everything. I hated everything. And I was about to go to I got into a big fight at school, about to go to the detention center, and this child that's now a teenager, he never asked for none of this stuff. Never asked for any of that. But I had to go through it, and my life's about to I'm about to go to jail, all because I don't know how to express the hurts, the pains, and everything else. And so God intervened, he worked it out, and I moved. My brother gave my life to God then, and you would think that, well, even as a Christian, for those that's not, but as a Christian, you think that sometimes you think fantasy land. That just because you give your life to Christ, you don't have no more issues.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so it was just that now I had what I needed to overcome my issues. And so that facing that mirror thing, I had to face me. I didn't like me. I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like what had become of me. And now I got to overcome me. And so, and God kept telling me, yes, you can. And so through all of that, I was able to overcome. And I would testify about my story. And it would always make me cry, touch other people's lives. And so, last thing I'll say, I thought I was finished with this testimony stuff and everything else, so forth, just moving on with my life. And eventually it came back to help somebody, to encourage somebody, and souls, it may sound weird, but souls kept ringing in my heart to help. And then it came, I believe the Spirit Lord told me, write a book. And I'm thinking natural, I'm going to make money, I'm going to do this, everything else. And it was more to it. And, that's how God works sometimes. There's more to what you think. It's not as easy as what you... And so I started to write. And y'all know as writers, all the stuff from the past, it was like I was there all over again. So I got stabbed all over again. I seen my mother get stabbed all over. I seen her die all over again. I went through all the stuff. And so as I was writing, I'm saying, I'm not doing this. And I, through the computer or whatever, and my wife and them, they couldn't really mess with me. They just let me be, and it was a lot of that, of wanting to quit, wanting to stop. But I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. And I finished it, and I've never been the same since. It changed my life. And so I'm on a rampage, if I can say, not in of anger, but in a rampage for somebody's life. Somebody that wants to give up, somebody that's ready to quit, somebody's ready to make another excuse. Well, here I am. I'm the one that can make an excuse too, but I chose not to. And so I'm here to encourage somebody else that you can't give up because I didn't give up. And so anyway, this one is a reference to what happened to me, the hospital experience. And then I felt led to write the second part after the hospital experience. Now that I have the scar, now I got to live with the scar and try to make something out of it. And this one, the second one, pretty much is trying to now cope with the issue that happened and trying to make something out of it. And I talk about the hurts that I went through. Both of them are hurts, but the best part is the joy that I'm able to even put in it because I'm still alive. And I refuse for that tragedy to be my testimony. My testimony is that it's a victory now. And so everything that I do, and last thing I'll say, I may have said everything, all the questions, but I forgive the man that killed my mama. As a matter of fact, I pray for him and I love him. And trust me, it's not a humanistic thing, reason that or humanistic way that could really help me to say that. It's all spiritual.
It is.
Because I'm human like anybody else. But I realize I've invested so much into trusting God that it's produced fruit. And that's what forgiveness does. If you say you forgive, it's supposed to produce something. If it doesn't produce something, you haven't fully forgiven. So through my forgiveness, 1, 2, movies, I mean not movies, but TV.
It's coming.
Movie, it's coming, yes. I've been trying, pushing, so forth. But I'm not finished yet. I'm here to change what the world would have said was going to be, we're supposed to stop there. No, I refuse. My mother's life is dear to me and other people's life. So that's my testimony, and I have these books, 2 books to show.
And I've read his book. He didn't mention it, but all while that happened to him, the stabbing and everything, he was 11 years old. So and when I read that, and it's a bloody mess, I had to back away. And this is his, I think, second or third time, and each time is fresh inside to me. And I just want to thank you for coming by. You as an author, you as my brother, and I know you personally. I didn't even know he had this story. And when I seen it, I was like, y'all know that I'm a dream pusher. I said, come on, you have got to do it. But some time has passed, and I didn't know he had the book out already. But what I'm saying is, we got to push these dreams. And to me, what you do in this book is like, I'm not saying you living out your mother, but I'm saying you living, you're walking this out. This is like life to you. Okay, life was taken, but my mother is here, and I'm going to continue on. It seems like that's the way you live. That's living. It's more of a fight to live than it is to die, like you said. So, Mom, even though you looked upon her and you seen her last reaction, her last, what you've seen at 11 years, I don't know if I could process all that, and just living. To me, it seemed like it was a more fight to live than to die. So anybody have any questions or, everybody all dried, all wet?